The recording has started. This is session 19 of Ripper's Resurrected. We have all kinds of technical hurdles tonight, including a new recording laptop. Mike is remote over his phone because he's got such a crappy internet connection.
Yeah, hotels.
And the camera's not working for the guys on the couch. So, that being said,
not missing much.
We are going to level up quickly and then get on with the adventure. Where we last left off, Jonathan Quark had discovered a nest of vampires. During your extermination of them, you found reference to something happening in Budapest, and Mina sent you there to check it out. So, that is where we are with that. Level up.
We also harvested
Yes, we did Rippertech.
some resources from the vampires.
So you
Just a few odds and ends, some bits and pieces.
What's that, Bob?
Just a few odds and ends, some bits and pieces.
Some blood, some hearts, no hearts, teeth.
Blood and teeth, I think it was.
I think it was blood and teeth.
So this is going to be our second level as seasoned.
Correct.
Yeah.
Our sixth.
You'll be level 60. Adam and I had a conversation today, and we think part of the reason we seem to be stagnating in Savage Worlds is because we never really get past this stage. We've never seen what's the third level, veteran.
Yeah, veteran, and then I think expert veteran, something like that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna expedite it a little bit to try to get us to move some of those gears, move people up the power ladder. We haven't seen a lot of that.
One thing I noticed is that a lot of the cooler edges started opening up at season because they're not available at novice.
Go back in your seat. I have to separate you two.
This is what happens to David in his class.
You're in trouble.
This is what happens to me in the department meeting.
It's like Lego all over again. You over there. You over there.
All right, so level 6 for everybody. I know Bob has already told me he's taking telekinesis. Well, I will let everybody take their own stuff. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Josh, can you tell me what to do?
Go back to the bar. Bob, the bar is done.
Hey, congratulations.
Oh my God, thank you.
Josh,
How much does that concrete weigh? 800 pounds? 900 pounds?
Yeah, he's
300
parenting.
I think it's 300 a section, isn't it?
Wow.
50 a section.
How much a section, Jeff, did you say?
About 250 a section.
So it's 750. Oh my goodness.
Bob, there's 3 pieces. Each one about 250 to 300 pounds.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had my brother.
Hey there.
It's Jules. I don't know if you can see me.
Nope.
I can't see you, but I can hear your voice. It's like you're in my head.
Yeah, I'm
we
really like
we
that.
hear you. We definitely hear you.
Son of a gun. That's right.
There's no way to avoid that.
No,
Nope.
not really.
So I did that right.
Hey, 6 days. The Dresden collective card game comes out on Dresden's birthday. That's pretty cool.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna buy that.
Would you break
I can see the temptation might be to wait until it comes out on tablets or phones.
Yeah, phone is gonna be hard to play that, I think.
broke the superhuman?
Unless you have like the iPhone 10. It's like a really big screen.
Of course, you could put it on a PC and then screencast it to your TV. That would be a novelty.
All right, where are we? Jeff, what do you do for your level up? Besides playing on your phone.
I was just looking up edges and advances that I could take.
You're so full of
You're so
I am
full of
going to-
shit.
I was going to look at your phone.
Look at it.
I see it's 9:15.
Alright.
Yes.
I am going to delay.
And wait to hear what Bob told you to take.
No, I'm just going to delay. I remember doing that.
We do have some thunder going on here, guys. So if we have a connection issue, par for the course for tonight.
I got you.
I had to delay until Adam got into being flanked by.
Yes, so you could hit
Come and get it?
you could miss everything else. Yep, you missed
Come and
everything
get it.
else around me and critted against me.
All right,
More than twice.
let's actually try to play tonight. So
I wanna
Bob,
complain
what did
about
Cork
Jeff.
take?
Hey, Jeff, I was just looking at old notes. Some things you might want to consider, at least if you don't do a stat, either Frenzy, so that gives you an extra attack every round, except -2 to your attacks, or Counterattack, you get +1, and you get an extra attack when somebody attacks you, or Inspire, so that's +2 and Shaken, but I think you did that one already, or Mighty Blow. If your fighting is at D10, that means you do double damage when you do a hit, which would be pretty crazy.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I really lost that one. I wish you said Mighty Blow. My head just went completely somewhere else.
Those are
Okay.
edges.
Well then.
I'm sorry. Just give it a different name and.
Crushing hit.
Those are right edges that Bob just read.
Yes.
Your Mighty Blow. Oh, you're.
So if you take an
And-
edge, you need to
I
take
know. I
a
heard the Mighty Blow
hindrance.
part was good.
And Joel, I was thinking you might do well with Mighty Blow as well. But also, you need your fighting at D10 to get there. Or Frenzy, but might also be pretty good for you. Just an extra attack every round, but you sacrifice a little bit of accuracy for that. That's the only catch.
Now, am I allowed to have a fighting that's 10 if my agility's not 10?
Yes, it just costs you more to do so.
It's not fighting in agility, it should be strength and agility, throwing or shooting in agility.
Fighting is agility.
Fighting is agility.
I thought fighting was strength.
Because that's your hit roll, not your damage roll.
Oh, okay.
You can. The only catch is that you would spend, 2 points your level to get it up there, and then later on, if you had done the agility first, then fighting would only cost you like 1 point to get it up there. So it's a little more expensive if you're impatient, but
So
that's not a big
hence,
deal.
I decided to increase my agility.
You can only do that
Once
twice
per,
so far.
once per tier.
Yeah. Did you do it?
Last time I picked a new skill.
Okay, so you're good.
I'm following the rules, yeah. And like Josh, so Josh got the idea from me because I was the one that did it first.
Because you're
But I
awesome.
have a list
Okay, I'll put my name somewhere else.
every level of what I've done here.
That would have been very
Alright.
useful.
Alright, Jules.
Good idea.
Glad
Yeah,
to
no
help Josh.
side conversations here.
It's not like I'm trying to pass a class or anything.
Not like Jill and I were doing that the last hour.
Called yesterday.
Oh, Josh, you might appreciate this, by the way. You catch the logo on the T-shirt?
Mars. Very nice.
That's right. That is the
I'll enjoy.
Martian Congressional Republic Navy.
It's
Thanks
from
to
the Expanse.
Oh.
from the Expanse.
So there's some interesting edges that are Rippers related.
We're rippers.
About Asarax, soul sucking.
But does that like
Asarax,
explain
eye,
it
soul
well
sucking.
enough?
So there's
just
some.
had it was called Mighty Blow.
So there's some background edges and faction edges. It's kind of late to take. Professional edges.
That's really all I need.
Alienist.
Are we recording this?
Yes.
Tomb Fighter looks pretty interesting.
Our listeners are chuckling right now.
Our listeners are scorching their ears out because they can't understand what we're saying because everybody's talking at once.
Again, trying to pass a class.
Jeez. In your cranky pants today.
Just a lot of it.
It's not been a good day.
How's that?
Watch that last one out, Jeff.
Guess what?
This arcane chemist, ripping and distilling extracts from monsters is something especially for this hero. When making extracts, Ripper with this edge creates twice as many doses as usual.
I was looking at that, but
Um,
what's the prereqs for that? Oh,
What's that mean?
flash flood warning this area till 11:15.
Alert.
You decide.
Wow.
Well, at least we all are aware.
Ripping and
That's kind of neat.
Oh, you never seen that happen before?
No. That came with my new update, I guess.
Should've been
Came with a new phone.
Know your enemy. Pick a monster type such as vampires, lycanthropes, animals, demons. Increase the character's parry by +2 when attacked by these abominations.
Josh,
I think
interrupt you for
Joel took that, if I'm not mistaken.
There's no flood risk here. We're at the
Oh,
side
because
point
it's
of the county.
5. You want to send an email or you want me to do it?
Oh, look,
I'll do it.
I can tell what our elevation is.
I want to do it because I
Oh,
did
no,
it.
then go ahead. No. I want you to be less frustrated. That's all I'm looking for.
I just want to fucking know.
If you really want to become like full of Rippertech in the weeks and months ahead,
It's 500.
starter stuff is not a bad idea. That will give you a bonus to have Rippertech put on, and it gives Egon a bonus installing it on you. But you have to have a bigger
Which one was that,
team.
Bob? Surgeon?
I guess if Antarctica melted, then
Which one was that, Bob?
Starter stuff. It's page 16.
it's like this.
Page 16.
When you have this Rippertech implanted, the surgeon gets a +2 bonus to his Rippertech roll due to your phenomenal constitution, your raw willpower, and your
That's
pierce.
a background edge. You can always take that as start.
Oh, my bad. Okay, got it.
So know your enemy +2 to parry. Monster Hunter. Pick a monster type. The warrior is completely immune to fear test from that. Monster Slayer.
By the way,
I thought Monster Slayer was veteran level.
in Eastern Pennsylvania.
You were right, Mikey.
It's very close.
Nice catch.
Surgeon. You may attempt one healing roll on a character who wounds after the golden hour, or to repair a permanent injury. When installing Rippertech, the patient gets a +1 bonus to the implant table roll.
I think, what is that? That sounds familiar.
That's Surgeon.
I have that. I took that last round.
Okay, you
The
have
last,
these
last
for that.
advance, rather.
Nice one.
Technical journals, you need weird science for that. Tomb Fighter. Those who battle dead things in tight places have learned special techniques to take advantage of their confines. The hero gains a +1 parry for each wall within 2 yards of his position,
That's
up to a maximum of +3
oddly specific.
if his back is against a dead end or cul-de-sac.
Lightning, too.
What do you want with this machine, Josh?
Close the lid. Sign out, close the lid. No, it's not, just sign out of work
Yeah.
and just close the lid. Thank you.
You still have all your trees back there?
Yeah.
For another week. So those are the exciting ones. There's some social edges and arcane edges.
You know, a couple of them come down tonight.
This
So
comes
you
from
probably
here
save
right
a
front
pretty
of
good
me.
amount of money.
Just ignore it. Okay.
Get out.
As long as it's the ones down
Down
there.
there,
my guys are
that
already wet
wall
before even,
this way,
I-
not.
Oh, domino effect? You really should shake.
They go, yeah, they fall.
We're
that
getting
way.
thunder to shake in the house right now, guys.
Oh, wow.
That would be ideal.
So, all right. So Jeff is procrastinating. Joel,
I told you, I increased my agility.
Joel plus agility.
Good choice.
Mikey and Bob.
I believe I am developing the powers of the mind further, Josh, just as discussed.
Adam, Jeff, did you finish the big one? Yes. Okay. What would you go with Bob?
You will notice that Jonathan Quirk has been spending a lot of
Oh,
time
here, Mike.
just in the lodge, focusing on mundane items like pencils and forks and knives. And you've noticed on several occasions now they somehow move slightly, like they quiver a little bit, sort of like Luke Skywalker is looking at his lightsaber in the snow and it just moves just slightly, but nothing really impressive. But it looks like maybe he can make things wiggle.
I was going to ask Bob, now that you can move things with your mind, are you going to start studying fencing with like a rapier or a saber, perhaps?
Ah, well that's a bloody good idea, Egon. I've never tried that before, but I've got to be able to lift a fork first.
All right, Erling.
Am I doing anything with Adam as far as like the stuff we got from the vampires
We'll
as
get
part of
there.
mine?
I'm letting you guys level up first, so Adam can extra bonus for that.
Oh, okay. So I was looking at Tomb Fighter as a possible edge, or I was looking at maybe updating one of my attributes.
The attribute is always the safe one.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
powerful. It's really powerful.
Wow.
So my strength is only a D6, so it would be nice if that was up a little bit. But
Are you intending to be a shooting guy or a fighting guy?
well, I think I was thinking of the shooting guy, but if I'm gonna go with like this, vampire stuff, that's gonna put me in closer, right? So strength might not be a bad thing to increase.
I see your point.
Right, so maybe shoot until I run out of bullets, and then use my vampire bite.
I know we were talking about shooting before, like marksman might have been an option, or
That's one of the So I was gonna say the other options for edges are like marksman and some of that other stuff.
dead shot when you're shooting against the D10.
So,
You can
so
double.
going back to kind of like the original, the original rule set, Josh. So I don't remember what marksman is, Bob, because I don't have the original book with me. But
It's like you're always aiming. You always get a +2 on.
I think it's a +2 for your shots, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I forgot the XML files.
But I guess
Josh,
this-
let's go with marksman for right now.
All right, sounds good.
And I think I'm just gonna. I gotta boost intelligence to a D10.
Ooh.
I would appreciate you doing that, especially if it has anything to do with the Rippertech stuff.
What's quirks in smarts?
D12 at the sacrifice of everything else.
He's chasing you, D10. Better watch out.
Better
It's
not
gonna be
cry.
almost as smart as you. Sorry.
My jealousy just increased to a D8. Uh-oh.
But that's
Oh,
still
Mike,
not
just so
true.
you know, marksman, the hero excels at taking controlled, measured shots. If he does not move in a turn, he may fire as if he took the aim maneuver. Marksman may never be used with a rate of fire greater than 1, and it works with both shooting and throwing.
Okay.
And then aim,
Perfect.
I think, gives you +2, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Yeah, but aim is a separate one, so you'd have to have marksman and aim.
No, you get aim automatically. So aim is +2.
You get aim with marksman. Okay.
So you don't have to waste a round aiming and lose a turn to aim to get the +2. You get it as long as you don't move. You get an instant +2.
Okay. I cannot move. That's easy enough.
Yep.
Yeah, the back to the wall kind of +1.
So, what's his name?
Laszlo Farkas.
Laszlo is gonna go with.
Oh, I found one for Laszlo. It's called ass grab.
What does that do, Mike?
No, I had that from the start.
Oh, okay.
So
I majored in that one.
is that your edge or
Oh, boy.
hindrance?
Oh, here I found a hindrance. I found a hindrance for Laszlo. It's Erling penis envy. So Laszlo has envy of Erling's.
But let's just recall that Laszlo is the one hooked up with Zafrada, not Erling.
Well, that's just because Ford screwed up my opportunity. Thank you very much, Ford.
There was one more, Jeff. The Wolfenjäger.
That sounds a lot like Farkas.
Wolfenjager.
Wolfenjägers are specialist slayers focusing their attention on removing the threat of werewolves from the world.
What's
They are
the last
most often old worlders,
Farkas.
but others from their tricks. Wolfenjägers gain +2 to resist the effects of a werewolf's howl and ignore the go for the throat ability of any creature. They also have +2 notice stealth and tracking when hunting werewolves. Honestly, it's not that exciting.
No, because I already have Inspire, which is +2 to shaking, and I have Alertness, which is +2 to notice.
What's your fighting?
Inspire doesn't give you +2 to shaking, does it?
What's your fighting?
Command plus? I have Command and Inspire. Fighting is D6.
Okay, you cannot take a team fighter because that requires a fighting of D8.
Ooh.
So maybe I can bump my fighting to D8.
And
know
one of
what
the-
that's-
Or D8.
Yeah.
My agility's D8. So I can do that.
Okay.
And he bumps 2 skills, right?
You can bump another skill as well.
Julie's not a skill.
Probably my voting skill
Totally.
would
Well,
be the,
if you've taken a new skill, that's 2.
what's the least useful?
Riding.
Flying?
Riding.
Zafrada.
I will do my fighting skill. And everything
Throwing
else
or
is
shooting?
limited because my smarts is only D6.
Shooting?
Uh,
Throwing?
I can do shooting. Survival, no. Stealth, nope. I'll do shooting too.
Laszlo Farkas, shooting machine. So,
He's a big dumb animal, folks.
they're all 3 files are on my desktop computer.
I
On
just,
that box. On that box.
I just copied them to my desktop from SAS.
So, to recap, you took some vampire blood and some vampire fangs,
Yes.
and you're going to do some impromptu surgery on
Well, it's gonna be promptu.
Erling.
We're gonna take it back to the lodge.
All right, so we're going to do that quick, and then we'll begin our adventure. Only 45 minutes later than usual.
You sat down an hour ago. For those listening in,
All right. So
still with us.
I think this is. I just want to say, I think this is a really interesting part of the game. So I hope that you guys add a little bit of flavor description here. That this is, this could impact Mike's character for a long time to come if he gets a weird quirk or gets a little crazy. So put a little descriptive text in it, I think, if you don't mind.
Okay, so we don't have an extract. We have
An elixir.
no. Going for the. Was there an actual thing in here, Adam, for that?
Yes, I believe I quoted it in an old email. It might be easier to find that.
Did I get all my extra bennies?
You I don't give out more than one extra one. You should have 4.
You don't need them anyway.
I'm gonna use them the first
Yeah,
5 minutes.
as I recall, it's in 2 different places.
And
There's
take my
retractable
chances.
claws, retinal graft,
You do a notice check.
pheromones, scales,
3
muscle
different
bleeding.
places.
Write your own lodge.
Adam sent it on October 5.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's worth reading, so folks at home know how Rippertech
What's it
works, by the way.
called,
Your primer on it, or your primer on it?
What's the official name of it, Bob?
Sorry, Rippers with 3 Ps dash Rippertech. But if you search on Rippers with 3 Ps, you should find it.
What's the name of the tech?
Rip PPP.
Oh, sorry. It looks like carnivorous maxillae,
Has to do with
and
fangs.
MAXILLAE, and also ethereal form.
Ethereal form was the other one.
Yeah, you
That
need.
was the- that was
It
the-
looks like you need blood
Yeah.
from a vampire for ethereal form.
Are
Go ahead.
Common implants. Carnivorous maxima.
and that is only an implant. It cannot be an extract.
All right. So, what do you tell us the procedure that Erling is going under?
I was going to say, so Herr Erling, you want these teeth implanted in your skull, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Dr.
yeah,
Brown, what will this do to the man?
Have you studied how to do this before?
I have studied the Rippertech, yeah, of course.
No, I mean specifically implanting these things in my head. Well, preferably not in my head, but in my mouth.
Well, the mouse is part of the head. I have studied basic anatomy. You're good, sir. I have not
You
studied
better
this.
more than basic anatomy, Doc.
I have not studied this particular implant. However, it's not a terribly difficult procedure from what I have been reading. And we have some wonderful resources at the lodge that will allow me to that I can draw on during the surgery to help assist and get a favorable successful surgery on you. So here, breathe, hold this rag to your nose and breathe deeply and lie back.
Here.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm assuming we're back at the lodge. I'm assuming we're back at the lodge doing this.
Yes.
Okay.
Are
Totally
you
for lodge.
certain you want to undergo this procedure?
But before you breathe deep, I will remind you that when you have this, you cannot have another implant in your head, any of your head or mouth area, even unless you remove this. You will be able to have the fangs protrude at will. Once you can bite, you will have the ability to do a vampire-like bite for damage. You will not be able to suck the blood and create vampires.
I should hope not.
And regardless, these bite attacks will always be successful against the vampire, regardless of their resistance to non-magical attacks.
So.
Okay.
Okay. So once a Ripper has acquired a Ripper lab, you have one. The raw materials necessary to create an implant, you have one. A successful Ripper knowledge roll is needed to implant the material into another Ripper. You cannot do it unto yourself. The roll is modified by the enhancements Rippertech modifier,
Which is a -1.
and the roll and the lodge modifier of the Ripper lab used by the surgery. I'm gonna guess London is probably at least a +2.
Yeah, that's like middle of the road, but it's a big long road.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair.
So the entire future of our gaming group right now
No, just
lies
Mike.
on this roll.
Just Mike. And then I forget what happens if there's a success or a failure.
I have
There's
the
a
card
table
here.
for that.
I have the table.
All right, so I have a D8 Rippertech.
What if you slip and cut his brain out?
Yeah. Please wait until
There's no loss there.
Wait until
Ellie,
he has.
before you
knowing
go on the,
Nice
did
knowing you,
you
Erlen.
did you have your affairs in order? Have you put together a will, a last will and testament in case things don't go well?
Well, since pretty much I don't have anything other than what I carry on my back, it's all yours.
Can I have your pistol?
Yes.
Yes.
I want the
If you'll actually use it, Shep, I will give you my pistol.
All right.
I wish you well, sir.
Now, Erling, lie back and try to relax.
Do I need to breathe this in, or can you just do this?
No, you will need to breathe the Israelite, please.
Why don't I take my
But-
pants
So
off?
I heard about this really cool stuff called Novocaine. Have we invented that yet?
You guys missed Jeff's comment.
Say that louder. So,
Come on,
Erling,
that was worth a penny.
As I was saying to
Okay.
Erling, just lie back and try to relax.
By the way, Novocaine first produced in 1905 by a German chemist, Alfred Einhorn.
Why do I have to take my pants off?
Okay. 7 more years. Novocaine will be around 7 years from now.
That's a special kind of attack.
Herr Erling, have no worries. This will not hurt me a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right. Let's assume I'm out, Josh.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh.
That could have been bad. I rolled a 1 on my knowledge Rippertech die, but I rolled a 6 on my. Oh! You're gonna come up pretty well, Mike. Thanks to the
You're gonna look
wild
better
die.
than you did before.
Wait, Adam, you know how to roll sixes?
17 plus 1, 18.
Oh my gosh.
He's never rolled so many sixes before.
And a +2 because you're in the bonus from
And
the
that's
lodge.
with the +2 from the lodge and the -1 from the.
He fixed 2 cavities.
Modifier.
Pull the molar.
All right. So for each raise,
It's
So
Nike.
that's 8, 12, 16.
Mikey roll.
3 raises.
implant is successful. Recipient suffers -1 reason loss, a minimum of 0. So I don't think Mikey has any reason loss because of your exceptional roll.
Oh yes. So you would have, Mike, if I just done a success, you would have lost 1 point of reason because of the Rippertech. But because
Okay.
I am so damn good at my job, you didn't lose
Oh,
any
yeah,
reason for
dude.
this.
Mikey also receives a +3 because you have 3 raises on the implant table modifier. So Mikey, roll a d20 and add 3.
Okay.
Don't roll
Go
it.
I
high.
believe you want to roll high.
24.
19.
Oh, that's nice.
Plus 3.
What is it? I don't even know what it is. What's on the Ripper table?
Is that with or without the +3?
That's with the +3.
Mike, you're slipping, man.
I know it was only 16. You know what? The D20s, they're cold, man. We haven't used them in like 4 years.
I know.
He said a D20. I didn't even know if I had one.
Honestly, I keep mine in the bag now.
Do you want me to like close the door all the way? Or leave it like that?
We'll take care of it. All
I had them all mixed in with my D12s that I never used
right.
either.
All right. So, perfect specimen. The procedure is efficiently conducted and the hero's body reacts well to the implant. Whether the operation is successful or not, there are enough raw materials to perform a second procedure.
Oh, it turns out that once I put the first tooth into Erling's mouth, he was able to grow the fangs on both sides. I have another incisor, which I can, canine razor, which I can implant to somebody else if we hurry. Does anybody else want to have these installed, is put in?
Bloody hell.
Ford? I think Ford wants some.
Oh, perhaps I can make an extract out of it. No, I can't make an extract out of it.
You can get somebody to do it to you at the lodge, maybe.
I think I like the extract idea.
Fine. Pussies, I'll do it.
Although perhaps I could find one of my colleagues. Yes.
I'll do it. I'll man up. Let's go.
You will perform the surgery before.
If you want that, or I'll take it.
I think it would do more good on me on.
Okay, let's go. D4s, right?
-2.
Ford, how much have you been studying the Rippertech?
His hands are looking a little shaky.
What's your Rippertech roll?
8.
All right. I will do 2d6.
I gotta plot a D20.
How many betties do you have?
Let me get the mop.
Double 6s.
Oh yeah.
That's 12. Automatic.
What's that, Joel?
Double sixes again.
Oh my god.
Inconceivable.
I just
That's
rolled an 18
amazing.
D AD&D. Double fours.
Yahtzee.
So it's
Wow.
12,
16.
18.
You,
Not
I
quite
rolled
as good
doubles,
as you.
doubles,
Not
doubles.
quite as good as you.
Yeah, not quite. So what's the total? Minus 2, minus 1 plus 2.
17, 17.
And how many raises is that? 4, 8, 12. It's another 3 raises.
Yes.
So you still have leftover teeth?
Roll
Okay,
a
so
D20.
I.
No, there's no leftovers the second time. So now Adam has to roll on the D20. Plus 3.
19. Come on. Well, there goes his
5.
streak.
Should I spend a penny?
With the...
Yeah, with.
You should spend a penny. I don't even know what a 5 is, but I think you should
I
spend a penny.
can't. Pennies are for trait rolls, aren't they? I don't know. We'll see. How bad is it?
I'm gonna guess it's pretty bad. It's like a 5.
Put it on upside down.
Bungled.
Oh no! Why did you move? I was right in the middle of doing this. I was unconscious, fault.
The surgery went dangerously awry, resulting in some severe temporary physical damage. Roll on the injury table in the Savage Rolls rulebook. The injury lasts 2 weeks or until healed with greater healing. I will let you spend a penny.
Thank you.
Oh, you're gonna lose your nose.
Listen, Ford can't get any uglier than he already is.
No, Ford
No,
did this.
Ford's doing this on me. Why is Ford doing it? Not one of the experts at the lodge.
He is the expert.
Oh God.
He's 11 years old.
Two.
He said it's the best surgery so far.
Oh my god, Adam, can I roll this? Josh, can I roll this for him, please? Please.
Again?
Consider
I'll give
changing.
you one of my
The,
bennies.
the actual term is phew. Nothing unexpected happened while the character was sedated. She suffers no additional effects from the procedure. She
Excellent.
suffers no additional.
Oh, that kind of surgery?
Ford, what did you do?
You should have kept your pants on.
Oh man.
It's the last time you let an 11-year-old perform surgery on you. Yikes.
You saving the day, Adam, Ford?
Yeah.
All right.
Gentlemen, I believe there is one final surgery yet to be performed on Erling.
What's the other surgery you're gonna do, Bob?
I thought you wanted to do a blood transfer to be able to take on ethereal form.
No, that's an extract. That's a potion.
Oh, that's it?
No, that,
Oh,
that, can happen, that can also be an implant.
I thought that was an implant,
That
yeah.
can be either or.
I decided not to do it as an implant because it didn't seem to have enough benefit, to be honest. For
Invisibility?
the
The ability to have invisibility? No?
That was
Is that what it is? Invisibility?
The implant takes that part of a vampire's blood that causes it to cast no reflection and infuses it onto the recipients, which bestows a limited form of invisibility. Although if you apply it, if you become invisible, I think you take on a level of fatigue afterwards.
You could only recover from like 8 hours of actual sleep.
In
a coffin.
In a coffin.
In a coffin.
Yep.
I think the teeth have a similar restriction.
no.
It says the hero can adopt ethereal form, the invisibility power, activated with spirit. If successful, the effect lasts 2 to 6 rounds, or 2d6 rounds, so 2 to 12 rounds, but the character suffers 1 level of fatigue at the end of the duration, which can only be recovered after 8 hours of sleep, or 4 in a coffin, within the layer of the hero's home soil. So 8 hours in bed, or 4 hours in a coffin.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. What does 1 level of fatigue do if, let's say for
Minus
some
1 to
reason,
everything.
rest after that? What are the negatives to 1 level of fatigue?
Minus 1 to everything.
Until you rest it off, and then it's nothing.
That's not
Okay.
too bad.
It's not too bad.
It could save your life someday, being able to go invisible.
It could, but
I'll tell you, whatever we don't use prior to getting my own surgery, whatever we don't use as an implant, I would make extracts out of these.
And the extracts are like one-time use things, right, Adam? Is that the way they work?
Correct, with all the same negative effects. But
Right. So if you use the blood, you would still have the potential penalty of,
Yeah, the fatigue is still a penalty if you use the extract.
Okay.
But, we'd have 3. There's 3 people would be able to use them once. You know. Sorry, I'm
So,
multitasking here, but you know,
if we
yeah,
do it,
you get 3 1-shots instead of somebody being able to do it at will.
okay, does anybody else have any desire to be invisible, other than like through an extract?
I would say if you are going to be our marksman / sniper, like the idea that you would go invisible, take like a high point, and then offer us cover and then blow people's heads off using, marksman skills, that's kind of an interesting combination. And
So, Bob, you're kind of reading my mind of what I was kind of thinking. I was actually thinking that I might let Adam do this again.
And you have marksman now, so that's +2 to your shooting. So it would offset your -1 if you got tired.
Don't forget though too that it's you would only get it for it's like I think like 3 rounds in combat or 5 minutes out of combat.
2d6 rounds.
And then you do have the -1 the level of fatigue.
It's pretty costly. It's cool to have, but it's pretty costly.
Yeah, it's a no shit card.
I was gonna say, it sounds like it's something that would be really useful in like in Bob's scenario. If we knew we were going into a specific battle, and we knew that we could scout out the high ground, and I can go invisible and take it,
or if you knew all of us were going to get captured, and then you could slip away.
Right. There are definitely situations where I think it could be beneficial, but you're right. I don't think it's something that we would use very often, right? I mean, it is a costly thing. So the question now becomes, do I do it?
Do you as a sniper, does it really add value to you as a sniper, or would it be better off used by somebody like Laszlo in hand-to-hand, where he can get some sort of sneak attack?
Well, that's why I asked if somebody else wanted it before I,
Just reach down somebody's throat.
Also, if you're a sniper, nobody can see you for 2 to 6 rounds, rather 2 to 12 rounds, and it's hard to take out the sniper when you can't see him.
Well, I mean, yes, I would agree with you during the daytime, but at nighttime, the gun's still going to make a flash. So it's going to kind of negate the fact that I'm invisible. If it's at night.
You fire, you step 3 steps to the left.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not hard to move.
Production or sandbox that matter. No.
Laszlo, you have any interest in this or no?
Not right now. I know.
I think you guys are better off with the extracts because it's more versatile, even if it is limited.
Okay, let's go with the extracts. I'll just say no. I was going to roll a d6 and split it. Yes,
you don't have to use it. You'll have the power, but that doesn't mean you actually have to use it. And that's unlimited.
I find it so amusing that Bob is so pushing Mikey to do it, but he won't do it himself.
I think it would be pretty damn cool, but I definitely.
I just want to say, the 2 surgeries that I've performed so far, I've done a really good job on. Neither of you guys have lost reason for my surgeries.
It's impressive.
Right, and so it's about time for your luck to run out, so I think we're just going to go with the...
I mean, imagine Jonathan Cork just wandering around the melee battle, picking people up with his telekinesis and tossing them around, being invisible right in the middle of the thick of things.
All right, if nobody else is doing it, I'll do it. How could you not be invisible, my God?
He could disappear from the box.
Are you sure you don't want to take that, Mike?
I you know what? I don't know if you know what? I gotta be honest with you. Josh, that sounds pretty amazing. Like, for you to be invisible, Kurt, that would be pretty awesome.
All
and
right.
then just like mind effing these guys by like lifting them up and tossing them around or whatever.
Adam, how many pennies do you have left?
I have 2.
2? Good enough for me. Put me under the knife.
Okay,
I gotta get back to my dice.
Hold on, let's just double check invisibility.
Oh, okay.
With this success, the character is transparent, but a vague outline is visible. The character may detect the invisible presence if he has a reason to look and makes a notice check at -4. Once detected, he may attack the foe at -4 as well. With a raise, the character is completely invisible, although you don't get that option. This is for the you're not going to roll a die for the potion.
Actually, I think you may.
Maybe okay. In either case, the power affects the character and his personal possessions. Jeff. Anything picked up after the power was cast remains visible.
Oh, you know, though, this is one of those things. Eventually, if I train my mind, I would be able to do without the need of implants, and then I could make other people invisible as well. If I do this, then I might not be able to do that later. Oh, what the hell? It's going to be fun. Somebody's got to do this. Let's do it.
All right. Contract your nose and breathe deeply.
Let's see on the other side.
Oh boy.
5?
Oh boy.
5 is good. 5 is a success.
Okay, wait. What was this one called? Oh, aerial. Where is it?
Ethereal form or whatever?
Ethereal form. AETH.
Yeah.
Right, but
Oh, this is a -2. So
Oh,
that
boy.
5, well, 5 becomes a 4.
Oh, and then you get +2 from the lodge.
Yeah. Yeah, I was putting all that in already.
Oh, okay.
I rolled a 4 and it stays a 4.
Okay, so you're 4.
Which is just a straight
Success.
success.
Implant successful recipient suffers standard reason loss for the implant.
Which is a -2, Bob. This is a more
Okay.
advanced implant.
That reason is equal to half spirit +2. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Half spirit +2, yes.
So spirit is d6. Half that is 3. +2 is 5.
You probably
So
lost-
my spirit goes down to a 3.
I believe you lost one for the eyes as well.
I don't think you did. I think
Oh, it was
No, I thought he rolled well enough that he didn't lose it for the eyes.
correct.
All right, so Bob, you need to roll a d20 now.
All right.
Drum roll.
Wait. Okay, never mind.
I rolled 14.
I don't know. It says roll.
That's gonna be
roll
good,
a
Bob, I
d20,
bet.
but I'm gonna, 14.
Yeah, 14.
Yes.
At the high end of the year.
Textbook procedure. The operation went smoothly, and if successful, reduces the reason loss from this implant by 1 point.
So you got a -1.
Oh, so you
instead
get
of
one more
-3.
reason back.
Whew. So instead of a reason of 3, my reason is now down to 4.
Yeah, you might
Yes.
want to note some of this stuff so that we have it for. We go
Yep.
back to recalculate reason in successions.
Oh yeah, and also if you can have extracts removed, so it's good to know how much reason you get back if you remove an extract.
Even an implant.
Yeah, implant.
Yeah, whatever you guys call that.
Alright, hold on a second here. Still recording. I'm trying to fire up my OneNote here so that I can
If
make some notes here.
I put it in my character sheet as well under powers. But if I remove the implant, does the reason come back?
Yes, it does.
And is there any way to restore that lost reason, or is it just gone forever?
No, your reason comes back when you remove the implant.
Oh, but it won't come back on its own.
Correct. I think you may get lucky and have some things able to recover your reason. No,
Gotcha.
But if you raise your spirit roll, wouldn't that?
yeah, if you raise your spirit, then it would increase your reason. But yeah, that's
Gotcha.
kind of the whole trade-off of Rippertech. Is that it's like basically you could mod yourself with monster parts to the point where it drives you insane.
Alright, so quirk. He had his eyes, he had no reason loss.
Yeah,
That's
He
right.
has ethereal form. Rolled well. 1 reason lost.
Yeah.
And then
If your reason is 4 or greater, your hero is sane and in full command of his or her faculties. But if your reason slips below 4, the hero becomes detached and isolated and less human than friends or colleagues remember. If you have less than 4, you suffer a -1 penalty to charisma, but you get a +1 bonus to intimidation. And if it drops to 0, the charisma penalty drops to -2, and the intimidation bonus becomes +2. Reason can never go below 0.
Well, I mean, charisma is kind of like, good looks, and we already know you're ugly, and we're still trying to figure out why your wife married you.
Bloody hell! I'll not stand for that!
But fortunately, you're still ugly, and it didn't make it any worse.
that was something.
Appreciate those words of wisdom, Dudley. Thank you.
Egon. And then Erling, he also got the carnivorous maxime.
with no reason loss.
No reason lost.
Accident.
And it went so well that we had extra left over. So somebody else could have got teeth, but nobody did, right?
No,
Oh, no,
you
no.
got it.
Yeah.
Egon took them.
Egon took teeth. Egon's got an extra bite now.
Oh yeah.
Smile.
And no reason lost on Egon, right?
All right.
So like, smile, don't move for 3 minutes.
All right. So Rippertech. Quirk got his eyes, no reason lost. He got his ethereal form, rolled well, 1 reason lost. Egon, carnivorous, Maxime, 1 reason lost. Erling, no reason lost.
Alright, and I'm gonna roll the remaining 2 bloods into extracts. First one. 10, 11.
So that's a success. Hold on.
Success with 2 raises, and raises do mean something to extracts. I don't remember.
Doesn't.
While they're figuring that out, has anybody seen Wonder Woman yet?
Oh, we also.
I did.
Wait, was it good?
It was
I
liked
liked
it.
it. I thought it was really good. Yeah.
I know I've heard so many good things. I gotta go see it.
Okay.
Definitely.
Preparing an extract is much like preparing an implant. Having gathered the raw materials, Ripper prepares them into a potion, pill, solve, or powder, then distills the essence of the donor's powers for later use. This will be done in Ripper Labs. Very wasteful. A monster may provide sufficient raw material for only 1 dose, unless the creator he has an arcane chemist edge. But you have 2 vampires, so you have 2 options. The creator makes a knowledge Rippertech roll with a success, creating the extract. Each raise reduces the reason penalty to a minimum of 0, which comes into effect when the extract is used.
Oh, okay. So it's temporary reason loss.
Yes.
When you use an extract.
Yes.
So we have one of them with a minus, with only 1 reason loss, and the other one,
Why did you just roll already?
I already rolled 1. I got an 11. This one is a 9, so they're both. They're 2 with only 1 reason loss.
Now, is that reason loss is temporary with the potion, right? Basically.
Right.
Okay.
I forget how it comes back, but I do remember that it's temporary.
You have to roll bigger. Alright. That took a little while, but that was interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
See, if other people wanted Rippertech, they could have been involved.
Maybe they're waiting for better stuff.
Maybe.
Waiting for other stuff.
Or maybe there's just more stuff we want to add, Bob. Bob and I are gonna be like Rippertech junkies.
And Mike, just you have the fangs, but if you want to do a bite like in a shoot or a attack with the sword, it's still 2 different actions.
Right. So you still get the penalty for the multi-action, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's basically a -2 for the bite if I wanted to do that after I shot.
Yeah. Well, it's a -2 to both.
Oh, right. Because you got to call both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
Alright.
I don't know what you did wrong. I restored the database. I uninstalled. I nuked the web, and then I'm just.
I should have nuked the web. I did nuke the web. I didn't reboot it.
I did.
Didn't reboot it.
I nuked it from orbit, so only way to be sure.
Alright, so Mina sends you guys off to Budapest to investigate the note about Ponari, and that the Budapest Lodge has not responded.
Is that in Buda or Pesh?
Yes. And you should find Tara Lagrange. She was recently promoted to head of the Old Worlders and operated out of the Budapest Lodge.
Why is it that Vierzy wants to go investigate these lodges have gone missing? I have a feeling we will find a lodge that is ravaged, but everybody is dead. Again.
Well, in this case, because God, I'm having trouble with names tonight.
Laszlo Farkas.
Laszlo is from that area.
Also, seems to do a bloody good job of it.
You guys are just awesome at it. And now that you're seasoned, you can be all
I think
cocky
I
and
might
good.
know a few people who are supposed to be
A
on
little
that
salt, a
march.
little pepper, a little ketchup, a little mustard.
Garlic salt.
Oh yeah, baby.
Alright. The trip to Budapest is uneventful.
What?
Bloody hell, I don't believe it. Wait, I saw somebody looking quite suspicious in the bar. I followed them. Did anything interesting happen?
They had a drink, and then
Did you say bar or bath?
In the bar.
Did you say
I still
bar
don't
or bath?
Never mind.
Alright. You arrive in Vienna via train. The train drops you in Vienna. You are supposed to Well, I'll leave it up to you.
Go on
There's
a boat.
the lodge is
Danube.
Who, Daniel?
The blue Danube.
I don't know that song. I can do Sonny River.
Okay, so I've been here once or twice before.
How old are you?
It doesn't matter.
Many years ago, when he was 3 years old, he was here.
And he made friends with all the prostitutes.
No, no.
No, what do they call in Budapest?
Hookers.
He made friends with all the hookers. Sorry, go ahead, Ford.
We need to go to the Budapest Schnitzel House.
Schnitzel?
That's what it's called, the Budapest Schnitzel House, Haus.
Oh, yes. People go to the Budapest Schnitzel house.
There is nothing like a good schnitzel.
No, but this is the schnitzel we are looking for.
Schnitzel horse.
Ford, is this place got the best schnitzel or what?
It's just the front.
Ah, so there's no real schnitzel?
I read about it. Well, there's some schnitzel. I don't know if these are good or not, but it's the front for the lodge.
What's that?
Alright, well, how about we get schnitzel, then we get to the
His
lodge.
father was an old world.
Dad took me. We did a lot of field trips.
Schnitzel.
Lots of field trips.
I guess so.
Sometimes to see the hookers.
That's not pretty impressive.
Most families call those vacations.
So,
So arriving at the Budapest Schnitzel House, you find the building boarded up, and no one around the outside.
Egon cries. He really wanted a schnitzel. Or perhaps a schnitzel.
In this case, for once, I agree with Egon.
Can you both give me a smarts check?
Good thing to come into Germany is schnitzel.
Can you both give me a smarts check?
Oh, I can do a smarts check, all right.
There must be some.
Oh, I can give you some smarts, man.
Use my,
schnitzels.
yeah, Mike, you can definitely give you some smart assedness.
Yes.
So who's doing a smarts check besides me?
Just you, just the guys at the fangs.
Niner.
Hold on a second. 40 at 12, and I'm still rolling.
No raise.
15.
Oh wow.
Fuck you, Mike.
So you manage to, you both start to feel the fangs come out because you're still learning to control them.
Oh,
So you can just take Jules' shirt and throw it. away.
that's coincidental. I'm just trying to get comfortable.
Don't accidentally bite my own lip, though, right?
That's what was going to happen, but you didn't.
Oh, good.
Gentlemen, your sight can be showing right now.
And you're disappointed.
Thanks for recruiting from other places when I get excited.
All right.
I just, you reminded me of one thing, Josh. Have you ever been chewing gum and then you accidentally bite the inside of your cheek and you're like, that was painful. But then you keep chewing your gum and then you bite it again and then it happens 5 times in the next 5 minutes and you're like, why am I still chewing this gum? And then eventually you get rid of the gum and it's a bloody mess. Imagine now the problems you're going to have with the fangs. Similar problems.
I'm imagining.
Anyway, the building is boarded up.
It wasn't my fault.
Blowing your nose is a little tougher.
I'll do a notice check around the building.
All right. Are you looking inside specifically too, or are you just going around the outside?
Right now, just around the outside.
I asked Ford, what did it look like when we were here last time? Was this boarded up? I mean, is this...
Well, there's a few boards over them you can certainly see inside.
You check the outside. You check the outside, Lasso, but I will look in the windows.
What about you, Whirling?
What's that?
What are you doing?
I was asking Ford, what the hell, when he was here before? What did it look like when he was here?
much nicer.
Not 7.
They open beer.
2.
Okay, so you
I see the windows are boarded up.
Egon attempts to look in the windows. He can't even tell the glass is broken.
He looks through the.
He's looking
I
right,
look
he's looking
at-
right at the board.
I look, yeah.
I look through the windows, I roll a 7.
All right. On the outside, there's not a lot of activity. There's some what's what I'm looking for? Superfluous damage. Nothing critical. The glass is broken. It has been cleaned up for the most part. You can still see parts of the shatter through the boarded up windows. Inside, Mikey, you look like there was a great deal of activity. You can see some overturned tables. But without going inside, you can't see much more.
Okay.
Look for the door.
So,
Let's say we go around
so
the
is it nighttime, daytime? What are we? Where are we?
It is.
Oh, also, how did we get from Vienna to Budapest?
Dude,
Oh, my bad.
but we're still in Vienna at the Budapest Schnitzel House.
You know, this is one of those things that's just written poorly here. The trip to Budapest is uneventful, and the Rippers are free to proceed to the imposing castle overlooking the Danube, or they can pause at the lodge in Vienna before traveling further east. We're stopping Vienna because that's
Is that where the Schnitzelhausen is?
Yes.
Oh, I kind of wonder why there was a Schnitzelhaus in Hungary.
But it's called the Budapest Schnitzelhaus.
In Vienna.
Maybe I'm
We're on
misreading
our
it.
way to Budapest. Yes.
I would like to say I've been to a Mexican food place in the
You know
United
what?
States.
Maybe you're in
It happens.
Budapest and I'm just misreading.
It's gonna be New York for Chicago style pizza.
Why would anybody ever eat Chicago style pizza? Sorry, casserole.
All right, you are, Mikey. It is 6:15 in the evening. It is April. So
So it's pretty dark that far north.
yes.
All right, we're gonna go
Yeah.
around back and look for a little back door entrance.
I think
Yeah, is this a single?
Jeff,
Is
what
this-
you feel like your own time is your own, but we're here to work right now.
Is this a single? Is it a single structure, or is it like part of other structures?
There's a whole.
It is part of other structures. You're able
Okay.
to get around back. The back door is also damaged and poorly boarded up closed, so you can easily force your way in if you so chose.
not Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, so if this was a lodge at one point, we're assuming now it's not.
Gotta go in and see.
Ford, was this the lodge?
This was the
Okay, we,
Sorry, Ford, was this the lodge?
It was.
we sent Ford in first.
By the way,
I,
the nails on the boards, are they rusted or do they look relatively still shiny and new?
The boarding up is relatively new.
Okay.
Probably less than a week old, based on what you can tell. It's
I have
still
my
much.
sword and revolver in hand, and I go inside carefully.
Front door, back door.
He's a backdoor guy. He already told us that.
That's right, he is. Aren't we all?
Anybody going in with him?
Yes,
Shepard?
Yes, of course.
Yep, I'll follow.
I have a shotgun in it.
If all the heavy fighting guys are going in the back door, I will go through them to their I'll go with them.
All right. It's obvious there was a fight inside here. There's tables that are overturned. Everything behind the bar, the glass is broken. There was a mirror that shattered.
Amazing. All this destruction, it was entirely not visible from the outside.
I don't want to be the guy who broke the mirror.
Meanwhile, Erling saw everything clear as day.
Maybe you should have the guy with the good eyes look in the dark.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody give me a notice check.
It's dark, so that dark enough that Quirk's +2 bonus could kick in, or not quite that dark?
Unless the guys want to light
I'm,
torch.
I'm looking for lanterns to light, or
Clean.
candles.
You find a couple broken lanterns. There's oil is leaked out on one of them, creating a stain on the floor.
It hasn't evaporated yet?
You find nothing. It's swooped into the wood. Shepard,
5.
were you looking for anything specific, or are you just looking?
I was just looking around.
You said to do it. You said to do it.
I know. Well, Jeff told me what he was looking for. So,
Oh, okay.
Bob, what'd you get?
Also a 5.
Mikey,
8.
8. So, Quirk and Shepard find more signs of damage. Overturned tables. There's bullet holes. There's looks like a fire was started at one point, but somebody put it out. And then Erling finds the entrance to the lodge proper. There's a trap door in the kitchen that leads down. The door has been ripped off. And the
That is
entrance
a
exposed.
bad sign. Hey guys, I think I found the entrance to the lodge.
I've been down there. I'm not going first.
Where that thing is really opposite direction.
You're not. Wait, Ford. You're not going first.
No.
Why not? You've been down there though before.
Is that the ocean?
I thought it was the sky. Ford never goes fast.
It's a toilet.
There's a toilet down here.
A
You cannot
toilet.
see it.
I've got slightly better eyes. I'm happy to
Actually, I see
assist
it.
us in reading.
Their topic is to not flush medications.
It's a happy toilet.
It's a sad toilet.
Okay,
Who's
it's
permitted
not
to look
always
at
in
Eve's picture of
What
a
I meant to say
toilet?
is it's a cartoony toilet.
Yes.
Okay.
Because for
Is
like
it
the
a talking toilet?
He's
the theme for is hydrodynamics, and the kids are researching flushing medications. So it's a toilet. With a,
And a frown once I actually looked at it.
and a sad face. So
The frown face toilet
Quirk
because it
goes
has
down.
medication flushed down in it.
It's black down there, Quark. You can see, but nobody else can. So you do find a torch that was stuck into the wall that was not lit.
Here, gentlemen, this may help. He passes the torch to
You just find a torch.
to Braun, perhaps.
All right, everybody going down.
I'm not going first. I'm not even going second.
Quark's already down there.
I'm not even going second. Laszlo, yeah. Take
I
some
go
torch.
next.
All right, so you guys,
I hold the torch. You go first. Torch in one hand, pistol in the other.
it's a series of tunnels.
Oh man, I thought you said tubes.
It's a tunnels. It looks like it's ransacked. There's a couple bodies. There's big pools of dried blood where bodies might have been. There's a whole bunch of things you can notice. Roll a notice at -2.
Can I specifically try to notice the bodies on the floor? Determine if they're human and the cause of death?
Sure.
Am I at a -2 for that?
You're at a -1 for that.
It's dark.
Yes.
Are we all trying to notice stuff, or just?
What was that?
Are we all trying to notice, or just Egon?
You can all notice stuff.
How about if I investigate them?
You're not. You don't have anything.
3
You
over
can
there.
investigate. Go ahead.
Hey, I know how to investigate deceased bodies.
Well, you haven't found any bodies yet. Are you
You just told
investigating?
us there were
You
bodies.
said there were bodies on the floor.
I did say
and
there were
there are
bodies.
pools of blood
Yeah.
where there might have been bodies.
Yes, correct.
Did you want to retract that?
No.
Okay.
Shepard, I'm curious.
there you go.
In your long career, how many bodies do you think you've seen?
Perfect.
77?
7-7.
7.
Poor guy asked you a question.
I didn't hear it.
I'm curious, in your long storied career, how many bodies do you think you've seen?
Wait a minute, hold on a second. He's got to take his shoes off.
He's got to twirl his baton.
600.
Right.
So, the
Including the cholera victims?
Oh.
Indeed.
That's right. You were there for the cholera breakout.
so the
I brought it back to London, but don't tell anybody.
you find a
Bloody.
couple bodies around. Most of them are
Typhoid,
stuffed in a back room. Gruesome close examination of these bodies reveals savage vampire bite marks on their necks, as if done in haste during battle and not a traditional feeding.
And this is what I found?
This is what you both found.
That's right. I should have been rolling medical and not noticed. But either way, it's the same.
Did anybody else have a successful notice check?
What a crime.
No, because you said it was a -2, right?
Yes.
Vampires.
Yeah, I know. I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 3 as well.
Well, there's
Four inside the
Sit.
double ones.
I think you tripped over your own feet. Did you walk into a wall just
Alright, I
now?
gotta use one of these.
Got dirt in your eyes?
There's mud in
You
your eye.
got chicken in your eyes.
Chicken in your eyes?
6 and a 5. That's better.
And you don't have
A9.
Elan, do you? Oh!
Yes. That's good.
That's right.
All right. So Laszlo finds a couple different things. He finds all the files that are there. It looks like he's gone through the files. Ford actually found that part. There's a bunch of stuff that was intended to be wired to London, scattered on the telegraph, including warning that something's happening at Ponari, which is Dracula's castle. And the name Red Wolf Lodge is scrawled on a scrap of paper clutched in the hand of one of the corpses.
Ford, are you familiar with this Red Wolf Lodge?
Yeah, it's on the road to Bucharest.
They were in Budapest.
Yes.
Is it one of our lodges, or is it a fortress of the Kavan?
No, it's one of our smaller ones.
I see.
Ravenloft?
It's actually the lodge in it's the lodge in Transylvania, to be specific.
Okay. Oh, so it's near Dracula's castle.
Yes, and actually flipping over the scrap of paper, it says "warn them."
That's very non-specific. Thank you, dead person who wrote this.
Well, it says Red Wolf Lodge on one side, and on the other side it says "warn them." So
So perhaps you should be
it's a
voting-
small piece of paper. There wasn't room to write on all that on one side.
Perhaps we should be warning the Red Wolf Lodge that maybe getting attacked.
But don't you think, Doctor, that that's a bit too convenient? Consider, the bodies have been removed, the exterior has been boarded up. Clearly, someone has had the time to prepare the scene, and yet they overlooked this piece of paper? It almost seems as if this is a plant, a bit of a trap, perhaps.
I think Mikey's watching a movie somewhere.
What happened?
Amy's sitting here waving to you. You're just zoned out on something.
Oh, I was just looking something up on a different webpage. Hi, Aim.
So are you watching Stripes, Mike?
No. I was just looking up something in the Savage Worlds in the regular manual. I'm good now.
We might be too late to the Bucharest Lodge, but we gotta check it out.
Jeff, can you give me a glass of water?
How far are we from Bucharest right now?
The Red Wolf Lodge is the Bucharest Lodge?
Yes.
Oh.
It's on the road to Bucharest.
So none of you find that exceptionally unusual that this one piece of paper was left here, despite all the other care taken throughout the rest of the lodge to board it up, to remove the bodies. That doesn't seem unusual to anyone.
Well, not all the bodies were removed. It might have been the vampires who were removed. Or there were people who were bitten and were still alive, and they've been taken so they could be turned into vampires.
Certainly they had the time enough to board up the exterior, which is no small amount of work.
I don't think the vampires boarded up the exterior.
That may have been boarded up by the town.
Right, very well then. Surely we have an obligation to the lodge to investigate.
All right. So before we head out of there, though, is there anything? Is there any reason why we shouldn't give this place a quick search? Any other new weapons or things? I mean, the vampires don't need weapons, so they would have left most everything if there was vampires.
We should investigate the armory and the laboratory.
Investigate everything quickly.
Perhaps
right?
Also the barracks.
Wise idea, Erling. Let's see what we can find.
Can you go to the local telegram office? What's it called when you send a wire? It's telegram, right?
Wire transfer, wire. Yeah.
Not transfer.
Telegraph.
Telegraph. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm so young. Telegraph office. Sorry. And perhaps try to send a telegraph to the Bucharest Lodge. Yeah.
I'll try. They're out in the middle of the sticks, though. I don't think they'd have a telegraph machine there.
Is that in Bucharest?
It's on the way to Bucharest.
Semantics.
So we do search. I rolled a notice roll. Do we find anything in the armory or the labs?
You find excuse me, I choose. Sorry.
That's what she said.
You don't find anything you haven't seen before. There's nothing new and exciting there. It's a smaller lodge than London, so you're not surprised that it doesn't have as much as you're used to seeing in London. There's a couple different. Their lab is pretty small, but there are a couple books there that Egon might be interested in.
I grab anything.
There's
interesting, including ether.
There's no ether.
Oh, well, that's okay. I have a bag of holding.
Are there any ripper claws?
There's some ammo, and then there's some mundane finding items. There's
Okay.
one set of ripper claws, since I know everybody seems to be chomping at the bite to get a set of them.
I already got my own.
Oh. Perhaps Laszlo would find that useful.
Laszlo is busy on his iPhone, which is a new device they have.
Laszlo might not need ripper claws yet.
So what's ripper claws?
No,
I say we grab the claws just in case, and
Grab,
I'll grab whatever ammo works. If they have any ammo that works for the guns I have, I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah, it's not a ton.
That's right, a handful of bullets or whatever, right?
Yep.
So
Bullets is bullets, right?
bullets is bullets.
Because we do such a great job of keeping track of them.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Either you have more than enough, or you have none.
Well, this way I can just say I have more than enough now.
Like Walking Dead.
There you go. All right. You guys ask around. You get directions to Bucharest. Specifically, the Red Wolf Tavern is halfway between here and there. You head out on.
Now we're going to Bucharest.
Well, you're heading toward the Red Wolf Tavern, which is toward Bucharest.
So we're not
Budapest, Bucharest, Red Wolf Tavern,
Okay.
Red Wolf Lodge, right in the middle. A to B, you're in the middle. So, do you want to travel at night, or you want to wait till the next day?
I'm traveling at night.
We are going up a group of
I do
vampires.
not know if
I
traveling
might
at
suggest
night
that
is wise.
traveling by daylight would be wiser.
Werewolves and vampires and goblins.
It's safe.
It is Laszlo's land, close to it.
This is my backyard.
Kirk, what did you say? I couldn't hear
I
you.
am going to bail out my baby.
I just reminded the group that we are traveling at night, pursuing vampires.
Yeah.
Perhaps waiting until daylight would be wise.
Adam's
because
leaving.
mine might be flooded too.
Unfortunately, I have my wife home to let me know that it's flooded, and I need to come home, come help her.
Adam's basement is
Yeah,
flooded, so
yeah.
he's ditching us.
Oh my gosh.
Pump it out.
Adam, I mean,
Adam.
Mikey, how was your
Drive
data
back.
usage?
Do you want us to come back with you?
Yeah, if you could.
Wait, what happened?
Adam's basement is flooded, so he's leaving.
Better chance of-
How was your data
Oh.
usage?
All right, good luck, Adam. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't forget your giant vat of food over there.
Oh, well, yeah.
What remains of it.
Grab a couple bites before I go.
Hello, Houston.
Oh, that really sucks, Adam.
Quite
Sorry to
Finally,
hear it.
Black and Decker shot back out.
Not in tens of feet.
That's one of my, I'm sure, 5 least favorite things in the house, though, in the basement floods.
Then you want to go and turn mine.
hate water. Hate water.
And I
Mine
never
flo-
learned, I never pick it up off the floor.
Mine flooded. I put the little roof over the stairs on the outside there. We went to like 30 different scenarios. I built the roof because it was the cheapest, easiest. Works like shit. Of course, now I'm gonna go
When
check
you're
it.
done, can you build a roof over my
Over?
3 sides of my house?
Yeah, no, I have a sump pump in my basement,
So do I.
and it's at the high point of my basement floor, too.
Mikey,
Oh,
how's your
geez.
data usage? Do we want to stop before eating into what's your
Good
data?
luck with that. Oh, wait, I'm parked behind you.
What was that, Josh?
I'm right up.
How's your data usage?
I'm pretty close to you, I'm gonna have to move.
I mean, if Adam's leaving and you want to stop, that's fine. I understand.
I am up to 800 megabytes
What do you guys
from
want to do?
200. I started at 200. I'm up to 800.
'Cause
Happy to
Joel's-
host a WebEx if that's getting too much.
Well, Joel's
No,
got
no,
a his car too, so I mean, whatever you guys want to do. If you want to stop or keep going, it doesn't matter to me.
I'll do whatever you guys want to do. I mean, can we play without Egon? Do we want? I mean, it's already 10:30, right? So what are we gonna play for like another hour tops?
Yeah. And we're at a point where we can't where it's not a horrible stopping point.
I can just pull behind Amy's.
Can we say we traveled uneventfully to the next lodge?
Yeah, you can get to the lodge.
All right. Why don't we just say we? I mean, it's up unless it's up to. I mean, I don't care. We can just say we got to the next lodge and we stopped there, and that's where we pick up.
Good luck. See you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck,
I'm
Adam.
fine.
Sorry about that, man.
Good luck, Adam. Good. I hope it's not too bad.
Unfortunately, we have enough experience at this. We know what we have to do. We just have to do it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Just don't speed, man, because I bet the road conditions are going to be really
Don't worry,
bad
I'm
over
going
here.
anywhere.
Yeah. Take your time, man. Okay. Yeah. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm up for anything. So.
Jeff, what are you thinking?
I have basketball games the next 2 nights in a row, so
Oh,
I would not be
jeez.
opposed to saying no, but I would say and play.
So maybe it's not a bad idea to just
No, I mean I hate to knock off quick, but I think that's probably in our best interest at this point.
agree.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Some
I think it's
different
fine. I mean,
session.
I'm okay with that.
Is everybody available next time?
What is next time?
2 weeks.
I'm next Tuesday, right? Yeah, we're on Tuesdays until Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, the 7th. So it's the
Yep.
one after Halloween. So,
Works for me too.
Yeah, I'm good.
guys, I will stop the recording, and hopefully Bob it's in adequate quality for you. Let me know if I have to change anything, and we'll call it a night and pick it up next time.
Okay.
All right, bye guys.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, everybody. Good night.
And
Okay,
drive
good.
safe getting home, guys. Take care.
Yeah. Take care. Be safe. Bye.